Kyle here, Odys Mentor, and today I'm going to be walking you through my growth blueprint for JW Food and Wine and exactly why I picked this domain. So first thing that the reason why I selected this domain basically is it's a strong community. So it was a Jewish domain, mostly focused, as you can see on the screenshots, food and wine. So I am not Jewish. However, some of my best friends are Jewish from Israel, and I'm living in Koh Samui, where there's a large Jewish population or community. So I know that what I think is if you're a new site builder and you're just starting out, I think that these, especially if you already have experience, like if you are from Israel, you have firsthand experience with the, you're Jewish, you know about all the holidays and stuff like this. And if you're starting out, these types of niches can be really, really good because it's easy to identify who your community is. So that's why I picked this one. I like these community niches. It's better for starting out. It's not a strong affiliate play, but for starting out, it's going to be easier for you to pinpoint who you're going to be targeting for creating content and so on, especially if you already have experience with the niche, the industry, right? So, but moving on from there, so the backlink profile, another one is great. So as you can see here, if we look, there's a lot of not only high authority links, so there's also, it's a DR31, right? 303 referring domain. Let me double check that actually. Yeah, I just wanted to double check it. It seems off. It's actually 800 metrics here in Ahrefs. So GR31, 811 referring domains. So let me just update this. Sorry, my bad. 811. So obviously a lot more referring domains. But on top of that, if I just go to all of them, right now it's showing close to 600. This fluctuates sometimes. But links, like powerful links, right? Obviously from, you have Wikipedia, and if we just follow by dofollow as well, just have a better idea here. So Times of Israel. So obviously on this one, it's high DR as well, 2.1 million traffic, low outbound links, but also it's super relevant, Times of Israel, right, for the actual niche itself. So salon.com, DR87, quite low outbound links as well, 635K traffic. And then on top of that, I mean, you have some obviously some food related ones, like this is not as hard of a link to get, but anyways, you also have many niche specific links as well on top of that. So Jewish Food Society, you have, there's another ones that are related to, say, religion. You have what we want to eat, what Jew want to eat.com. That's kind of funny as well. So as you can see, it's really targeted, really great backlink profile here. So that's obviously one of the reasons why I picked this one. So phenomenal backlink profile. Moving on to, as I mentioned, many niche relevant links as well. So in terms of the actual competitors and the opportunity, so I'm going to do this kind of in two phases. So just to kind of give you an idea, like I said, I would really focus on making this one, like look at this one over the long term and focus on building an actual brand, especially recently with the Google Helpful Content update. It appears to me that brands is much more, it's not just about SEO now, it's also about building your brand. So that's why I like the community niche again, because it's easier to build a brand. It's easier to build that kind of engagement. Like I said before, like for example, in Koh Samui, there's different, or when people are traveling, for example, they're going to look for different communities in different places or different, I know there's like certain, how do you call it, places that people can go visit, because there's a lot of eating restrictions if you're a practicing Jew, right? So this stuff is, you can build a community around that. But to give you some ideas in terms of competitors, so I'm not going to say you're going to be able to get this overnight. This is kind of an authority site just to kind of give you some ideas, right? So my Jewish learnings, again, this is not just related to food, although they do have a lot of stuff related to the holidays and so on. So obviously like Celebrate, Eat, Live. I would stay away from kind of the pray stuff, but mostly around the celebration and eat, because it's mostly relevant to the actual niche. But as you can see here, strong site, DR metrics, DR87, 750,000 traffic just in Ahrefs alone. And then on top of that, I can see that they have a strong Facebook group or Facebook community with followers. YouTube, let's just open these ones up as an idea. So 170K followers, and on top of that, let's see what they're doing on YouTube. Are they doing much? 26,000 subscribers, not a whole lot, but it gives you an idea, right, to really build a brand. So I think that's important. So I've added these ones here. But then if you want to like smaller niche sites, for example, you can see like kosher meal plans, Jewish drinking, kosher in the kitchen. These are smaller sites as well, but it gives you an idea, which is the one that I like to follow. I think Kosher Meal Plans, this is a new site. It's not getting a lot of traffic right now, but that's not to say that in the future it won't be there. So if we just open these ones up as an example to give you an idea in terms of, so it's just like it's low site, it only has 8 referring domains. Again, the traffic hasn't picked up yet because they look like they're pretty much a new site. But if we could just have a look at top pages here, we can see they only have about 50 pages set up. They only have a few backlinks, so it's basically a DR0, I think is what it was, only 8 referring domains. So yeah, DR, 0.4. So they're a new site, but you can have an idea of like kind of the trajectory and what they've been focusing on to give you some content ideas, mostly specific to say recipes and food itself, right? So as you can see here, they're jumping up for quite a few keywords as of late, for the past 3 months. So you could break down all the different, different types of recipes and ingredients and so on. So that's it for some of the competitors. Jewish Drink, you can have a quick look at these if you want to open them up. But on top of that, for the actual content plan, so like I said, I'm going to kind of do these twofold. What I would do is I would use chat. I mean, if you already have experience, like if you are Jewish, you know all about the holidays and so on, then obviously just roll with that. But to get some more ideas, you can use ChatGPT. So right now I'm just using ChatGPT 3.5. So, and you can kind of just walk through this to get a bunch of, different content ideas. So if you know the community, you know that there's like a ton of holidays all the time. There's all kinds of different rules, and with each one of these holidays, it's going to peak. So all the traffic metrics are going to be pretty off, right? If you're looking at Ahrefs, but you can start building content plan around all these different holidays, assuming the competition is lower and so on, right? Obviously, you have to do some additional research, but I'm just giving you some ideas, right? So you could do content around most of these. I don't even know. I just know that there's holidays quite often, but obviously I know Passover and so on. So, like for example, I know around Passover, everybody's asking. So if you have, even if you're not Jewish and you have friends that are Jewish that are coming over, and you want to respect their whatever dietary restrictions they have, people are still interested in this. They want to know, is this okay for Passover and so on. You can build this out for all of these, right? Just by going ahead and using these as seed keywords as well into Ahrefs. So just by, whatever, if you want to put in Passover into Ahrefs as an example, and you can do the top 10 to start and just kind of to help build out your content plan. So you could do it around holidays here, and then you could just keep asking. You can keep diving into each one of these to get more and more content ideas that you can then use as your seed keywords or entities that you can put into Ahrefs, right? So I like to do this a lot when doing keyword research. So yeah, again here, so like whatever, cooking for Jewish holidays involved. So what would be some considerations for cooking for these holidays? Right, like, so what do you want to know, right? So obviously we talked about, stuff being kosher for Passover, whatever the traditional foods might be. There's certain dietary restrictions about, what you can mix together, so you can expand on that as well. And again, here you have, wine. So wine is a significant part of Jewish rituals and holidays. So, and again, here's one of my competitors. I have a smaller site, which is jewishdrinking.com. Again, it's lower DR, but you can have a look. Like, he's built a small site just around this in general. So, that's obviously a big thing. And then with that, you can obviously promote some products if you'd like, right? So that's kind of the content plan. And you could just keep doing this process, right? Just keep going over and over and over. You could even grab one of these primary keywords, then ask chat to expand on that. Like, what are the ingredients that are needed for this? And then you could also use that to put into Ahrefs. So there's some ideas basically for you. So again, I don't even want to try to pronounce this stuff. But you can see here some ideas for the actual content plan related to food and wine. So that's what I mentioned here. Now, once you add these seed keywords to Ahrefs, you're going to want to be a little bit more specific, obviously, by doing the due diligence. You can play with some of the filters. So I have some examples here like shalak. Again, I don't even want to try to matzah, I know that one. But you can just play with some of the filters, So filtering by, say, KD 10. You can even use like lowest DR, say in the top 5 is 30, although this isn't always so accurate, but you can play with the filters, like I said. But if I just use these ones and put in the question report just as a bare minimum, you can see there's 4,000 keywords to start, and that's just off of these 5 seeds, which I grabbed from the list here, basically. So that's some ideas. Now, again, obviously some of these are going to be more competitive, but it gives you, lots and lots of ideas that you could then work with to start building out your content plan. What I would do is I would focus on getting as many competitors as you can, lower DR as possible, under DR 30. Just keep going through the list and trying to find as many competitors as possible. Export all their keywords, then you can consolidate that list. Then also do the same thing with ChatGPT. Create as big of a list as you can with all the kind of the main entities, especially the ones that are most relevant to the holiday, Jewish food and so on, right? So like matzah for sure, like potatoes is going to be pretty general, but you can all the ones that are like really associated with that, with the holidays. So borscht is probably going to be a good one, and all these ones. And then again, you can put that into Ahrefs, do matching terms. You can filter however you like, export that list. Consolidate then all your list from competitor keywords, then also the keywords that you found manually. And then if you want to do like a pretty high level topical map, I guess you would say, you could then put it into a tool like Keyword Cupid. Again, you're gonna have to pay for this, but it's a quick way to then go through thousands and thousands of keywords, especially if you're building out a new site. Keyword Cupid. And then if you want to get even higher level, then you can also get that list and then feed it to you can also feed it to ChatGPT if you have access to ChatGPT 4. I ran out of my credits, but the code interpreter and you can get it to crawl the CSV file to then group your keywords into further into categories and so on if you want. That's kind of the quick and dirty topical map method if you'd like to use that. So, sorry, going on from there now, so that's kind of the content plan, how I would approach it. Again, be very, be specific to the niche, I would say. Really focus on the Jewish community and what they would want to see as well. So if you have experience, then use that experience to your advantage. In terms of monetization, so starting out the easiest low-hanging fruit is ads. So Zoic, when you just get it set up, and then as you get more traffic, you build your community, then move on to things like Mediavine and Raptive. Amazon affiliate, so you're probably going to have some Amazon affiliate products. Try to aim for the kind of the higher price ones, you know what I'm saying, to really make it worth your while. So that's something that you would want to kind of expand on a little bit more, right? If you have an article, if you have a recipe and it mentions kosher salt, I don't think that's going to be really a game changer in terms of affiliate income. So keep that in mind. If you just have like a little hyperlink to salt, I don't think that's going to be a good play. But obviously where there are going to be some, you might have some best X for Y, best kosher salt, that could be an article. It's probably going to be really competitive, but to give you an idea, in that case, if you have a roundup review, then obviously promote whatever affiliate programs are available there. And then obviously there's going to be some non-Amazon affiliate programs that you could probably look into. So things like maybe there's a kosher meal delivery or meal plan delivery. So for people that don't want to cook, that could be an option as well. And then things related to food and wine, if you had some info products as well, so a Jewish recipe guide and so on. I've seen that in some of the competitors. That could be an option, or that could just be a lead magnet. Depends on how valuable it is. So again, even if you didn't want to build it on this site, another option as well, which I just wanted to mention, I thought I'll just mention it right here, is using this as a 3-1 redirect. So if you already have a food site and you have some Jewish related content on there, you could potentially then take this site, redirect it to a new silo or the silo that you already have set up to help basically power up that silo with all these backlinks that we have. Now, moving on to the drawbacks. So there are some, you're gonna have to go through some of the pages. This is quite common with the age domains. Where are we at here? Kosher meal plan. I don't have it open now, but Ahrefs, but go through the Best Buy links and just recreate all of the pages that have links to them. So that can be a little bit time consuming. Make sure that's done correctly because you don't want to waste that link juice. Another thing that I would mention is the food recipe sites can be quite competitive. So that's why I think it's important to niche down and also do some additional research, especially when you're starting out. Now, I do think that over time, as you build more links, as you build more of a community, as you create more good content, it will start to snowball. But in the beginning, don't shoot too high, I would say. Just spend a little bit of extra time and really analyzing the keywords if you want to kind of get started off on the right foot, because again, especially if it's the SEO strategy, right? It can be really quite competitive. The food niche in general, you'll find that as you go through it, it can be quite competitive, but I also think there's a lot of link opportunities in the niche as well. So keep that in mind. But when you're focusing on it, like build up all the competitor sites that you can that are say under DR30, because that's what you are right now, even less if possible. So say even if you have a lot of competitors that are under DR20, start by, and they're already on page 1 or they're top 5 positions, top 1, 2, 3 positions, start with those. That I would prioritize those articles first and then kind of expand out from there. So like I said, DR30, even DR20 is better on page 1. Top 3 obviously is even better. So scrape those keywords first, build your content plan around that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the growth blueprint. If you have any questions about this domain or any others, feel free to book a call with me and I'll be more than happy to walk you through it. Thanks.